Hello, 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 and welcome to Review, Rank, Repeat, aka the 3R podcast. My name is Austin St. Pierre, and joining me today is my awesome, handsome co-host, David Coyen. Dave, how excited are you this morning to be doing our next episode?
Might just blow my top, man. I'm so excited for the holiday season, so excited for the tradition that comes with it, and looking forward to reviewing some of my favorite films today.
Yeah. This is the most wonderful time of year is upon us, so we're quickly approaching the Christmas season. So in this episode, we're going to be ranking and discussing our favorite festive films that we love watching around the holidays. So really quick, before we get into today's topic, we do want to do a little bit of housekeeping, so make sure you are following us, you subscribe to us. So go ahead and give us a follow and subscribe to us so you don't miss out on our new episodes when they release. And then Dave, why don't you jump on in and give us our kickoff here for what we're doing today.
Yeah. Please make sure you hit the subscription buttons, the bells, the whistles, all the things. Reach out to us on socials. We're really looking for the feedback, and if we don't have an audience, there's no point in doing it, right? So
exactly.
My favorite time of year, movie wise. Otherwise, I hate the weather. I hate Christmas. I hate the cold. As far as the season is concerned, but I do love Christmas for the Christmas movies.
It's the movies that get you through.
It is. It really is. For somebody like me who, when I grew up, I was an outside kid, man. I was always golf, baseball, tennis, whatever I could do to have fun. So in the winter when things slow down, you start to look for other avenues, and movies have always been an outlet for me. So coming back from my childhood, I was about 7 years old in 1990 when the Home Alone 2 came out.
Yeah.
So my first pick, I guess, my third favorite holiday classic is the John Hughes inspired film star Macaulay Culkin, which was the second iteration of the Home Alone franchise, right? Mm-hmm. And same cast: Culkin, Pesci, Daniel Stern, and the likes. Lost in New York, right? So premise pretty much the same as the first, right?
Same general plot, but executed well.
Maybe a cooler little trap house the second time. I thought that was kind of neat,
Yeah.
I liked it that Kevin was always prepared for anything. Made you feel like being a kid, you could be safe, as silly as it is.
Yeah.
You see all the Family Guy making fun of it, saying how easily the criminals could have got away with what they were doing, but
right.
Kind of a John Hughes has had a big impact on my childhood. So, his list is extensive, and it may or may not be the only John Hughes film on my list today. Spoiler alert, right? So that's my number 3, man. It's an all-time classic as far as I'm concerned. It goes with
it is.
It goes with Home Alone. The original Home Alone would be an honorable mention for me as well. So
yeah, they're a perfect pairing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it went kind of downhill after that, but those first two were really good. So
they were,
for sure. Home Alone 2, 1990. The John Hughes deal is. I mean, you can't go wrong with John Hughes films, as far as I'm concerned. So,
no, he's the king of the '80s films right there.
Absolutely,
80s and 90s,
absolutely.
really.
He rolled into the '90s with the bang with this one, right? So, well, what about you, Austin? What do you have for your number 3?
My first one. This is actually a somewhat more of a recent addition to kind of my more regular rotation of Christmas movies that I always enjoy checking out every year. And this one's actually a Netflix original movie. It's an animated film called Klaus. So it's spelled Klaus. I may or may not have mentioned it to you before. I'm not sure if I have. Have you seen this one?
It's found its way to my list. I haven't got to watch it yet, though.
I just rewatched it yesterday with Connor. He really enjoyed it. He liked it a lot, and that was probably my 4th or 5th time seeing the movie, and I still cry every time I watch it. It's just a really good, beautiful story. The animation is fantastic in it. It's actually like a 2D animation, but the way that they animate the film, it makes it look like a 3D animated film. So that's really cool as far as like the uniqueness with the animation style. It tells a really good story. It's nothing, groundbreaking storytelling wise. It tells a story of this kind of like spoiled son of kind of this worldwide mailing company, and he sends his son to like a kind of not necessarily deserted, but a town that nobody really likes going to, and it's all run down and stuff like that. And basically, is trying to get him to get over himself of being just this spoiled brat who just takes everything that's given to him, and he wants him to make something of himself, kind of thing. So he sends him to this island to set up a postal office there, with the stipulation that if he doesn't do it, he's cut off from the family funds and stuff like that. So initially he's sent there, and he's doing it just because he doesn't want to be cut off financially from the family. But eventually, as you would in a story like this, he falls in love with the people of the town and helps them kind of build the town back up again and become friends again and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of kind of classic themes that they implement into the movie when it comes to a Christmas story, and in that, there's also kind of this unique twist on a Santa Claus origin story. There's a man that's like a woodsman there named Klaus, and he kind of becomes this Santa Claus type figure for the people of the town. So it's just a really cool way that it plays with Santa Claus lore in a new, unique, refreshing way, but it tells a cool story at the same time, and then it just has beautiful, beautiful animation as well.
Okay, so it's like a kind of Ghost of Christmas Past type.
Yeah, it kind of plays with a lot of different elements. Like it has, a little bit of a Christmas Carol type thing in there with the Scrooge kind of type guy and whatnot, and then just a lot of different stuff that I've always enjoyed ever since the first time I watched it. I fell in love with the movie, and I love it more every time. Like I said, I cry every time the movie gets towards its climax and everything. It's a beautiful story.
So it sort of sounds like a Hallmarkian twist on a Christmas Carol / a whole slew of other classics,
like I said,
right?
it's just it pulls from so many different things, and it pulls the best thing from those things.
Well, dogs die, it makes me sad, and I don't need help crying at a movie. So
yeah, prepare yourself.
What about
but it's a good one.
Yeah. It's on my list, and I watch it on a day when I need a good cry. Then evidently.
Yeah.
So having said that, that's your. Would you rank that your number 3 choice?
That would be my third choice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay.
Yep.
So what about your second choice? Let's change the order up a little bit.
Okay.
We'll let you go with
it up.
number 2 first.
So for my number 2, I went with the first Home Alone movie. As much as I enjoy
Let's go.
both Home Alone movies as a perfect pairing, because the first one is kind of a classic unto itself. It's just one of the greatest Christmas movies ever made. I think I love the original movie, and just like I said, even though the second one is kind of recycling the same plot, it's still done in an endearing kind of way. So I think just the first time around, especially in the first one with the inclusion of John Candy, John Hughes and John Candy together is just gold every single time. Yeah. And so I love the use of John Candy's character in that one, and just the whole story that's told. What's the name of the movie that's within the movie, like Hell's Angels or something like that, the black and white movie he watches and stuff. The way they utilize that movie in both of these films, but especially the first one, the way he sets the traps up all throughout the house, and then they just tell such a good story along the way too, like the story between Kevin and the old man that he's scared of throughout, and the relationship that they form throughout the movie, and where that pays off in the end and stuff like that. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. A bunch of plot twists in a band from Sheboygan, right?
Yeah, and we didn't mention
Chicago,
it yet.
Sheboygan.
Not only is it John Candy and John Hughes, it's John Williams for the music too. You got the John trifecta right there.
Well, and that preparation scene where he's running from the church and the bells are in the
it's beautiful. Yeah.
What a beautiful score.
Yeah, that song
right
is
about
on
that,
my
for sure.
Christmas music playlist. That song is perfect.
You know what it should be. It's a fantastic song. It's so fitting. I don't know of many instances I can find or think of off the top of my head where the score fits so perfectly. It's almost. It's almost on par with the Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
As far as the perfect fit.
Yeah. They're synonymous. There's not one without the other.
Yes, absolutely. It adds that emphasis on the the urgency that he's moving with, and the kind of has that tense, scared feeling as well. I agree. That might be of all of my holiday movies that are on my list. That's probably the best score. Of any, for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember.
If we were ranking it by score,
Yeah. Did
It
John
would be
Williams do
Home
the
Alone
score for
1.
the second one too? I don't remember.
You know what? I don't know. That was one of my my failings. I missed on that one. But in fairness, the score to the second one wasn't nearly as impactful as it was on the
Right.
first.
It's not quite as memorable, I don't think, because there's not really a moment that I'm like, oh, this moment here musically as well.
Yeah.
Where like there's multiple in the first movie.
Well, and it felt a little bit like a recycle. You know, that to that end, it felt. Now you've got me questioning my Home Alone 1 versus Home Alone 2. Here, I'm.
Look,
all of
it's
sudden
a proven formula. So I mean, don't fix what ain't broke. If the formula worked for
Yeah,
the first one and
yeah,
you can do
no.
it good in the second one, even just changing some things here and there, do it.
Yeah, they certainly hit a home run with the original as far as the score. Absolutely. So now you've got me deep diving again. All of
You're
a sudden,
digging.
I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't find the info readily. So unfortunately,
Here, I'll let
I guess
you
we'll
share
just
your
have to
two
move
pick, and
on
I'll look
without
while you're
that.
sharing.
Without that confirmation. So my number 2 pick, it's our newer, it's a newer / older tradition in my house actually. So my wife and I were dating when this movie came out in 2000. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, but Jim Carrey, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yep.
My goodness, man, what an absolutely amazing, fun, just almost makes me happy that it's winter
Yeah.
movie because
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get to see the Grinch. So we constantly at my house quote the Grinch all year around, actually, but especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not a day goes by that we don't quote a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple times a day. And then, of course, we're big dog people, obviously. So I have
Right.
I have the 4 dogs, and my dogs have been told to fetch my cloak many a time. Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
it's such a unique film as far as it being a live film as
Yeah.
opposed to animated, and it just Jim Carrey's performance in that film just it shook me, to be honest.
Yeah.
How
It's one of a kind.
yeah, how unique and how I mean, and like the little hat tips, the Ron Howard hat tip that when he's sitting in the director's chair and the little just the little like kind of like cheruby type just
Yeah.
cute outside references. He breaks the fourth wall at a certain point, like
Yeah.
just so fun. It just
Yeah.
absolutely so fun. It's the type of movie I can watch when I'm in a bad mood or when I don't feel well or I'm not the happiest, and it just makes me so just better.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's all a feeling. And then
Yeah.
my kids, of course, loved it when they were little, and they still love it now.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those that just I think that's what holiday films are supposed to be about, right? Like the encouragement of togetherness. Like you've got this
Yeah.
kind of old soul character that's lonely and grumpy and kind of like greatly misunderstood, right?
Yeah.
And just wanted to fit in. I mean, who can't relate to that to some degree?
Oh yeah.
And then it's so well portrayed as the adult version of the Grinch.
Yeah.
When Carrie takes it over, that the accents, the facial expressions, there's just
Yeah.
I can't say enough about it.
Yeah.
It's
such a physical performance too.
yeah, yes, and that's like who doesn't appreciate that? It goes back to our last episode where we talked about Andy Serkis and his portrayal of Smeagol Gollum and
Yeah.
the readings and dramatics that he brings with his presence. So
Yeah.
same kind of thing, and all the little clever, cute references throughout it. It's age appropriate, and then Taylor Momsen, Cindy Lou. You don't
Yes.
realize how talented she became as an adult unless you kind of follow up and see. She plays my type of music. She sings my type of music. She's
Yeah, I was gonna say she's like a rock star now, isn't she?
yeah, she's absolutely a rock star, and I
Yeah.
think the band's called the Pretty Reckless, right? So she's still a superstar, right? Just in a different capacity now.
Yeah.
And I felt like I felt like she was a really endearing Cindy Lou.
Mm-hmm.
So, just the subtext of all the stuff that goes on in the entire movie,
Yeah.
and the dramatic conclusion where the Grinch gets the girl, right?
Right.
So love it. Love the way he makes fun of the mayor at the end when he does get the girl.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. So
Yeah.
not a piece of that movie I don't love.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how else to put it, man. That's my
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah. Really
So,
quick before you move into your number 1, what are your thoughts on the original animated short and then the newer Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch? Do you like those ones as well? Obviously, Jim Carrey makes this one for you in a big way, but
So here's the thing about Benedict Cumberbatch. He is an endearing man.
mm-hmm.
He has not done a single project that I really care for.
Yeah.
I watch him. I watch him on shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I love his personality. I think he's
Yeah.
I think he's probably aces. If you meet this guy in person, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he's somebody that I would mesh with, that I could be
Yeah.
friends with, that I could
Right.
have fun with.
Right.
But it's just like I'm trying to think, and off the top of my head, I can't come up with a single role that he's done that really makes me a fan of his as an actor.
Yeah.
It's so
Would
funny
the closest be
because
Smaug in the Hobbit movies?
you know,
Tangent.
oh, bad take. Probably a bad take, maybe a hot take. Smaug to me as a voice, as a character, was less impressive than I felt like he could be, and I don't think that his. I don't think I'm trying to think of a way to put this without sounding like a complete jerk, but I think that anybody could have done what he did for
Right.
Smaug. I have seen him in the suit doing
Yeah, like the
doing
behind the
actual-
scenes stuff. Yeah.
and, man, that stuff it's really cool.
Yeah.
I applaud his effort, but I feel like one of 24 actors probably could have done that. Mm-hmm. There's a little part of me that wishes Samuel L. Jackson had played Smaug. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. The
probably
two that
would've
came to
changed
mind
the
was that Smaug role and then him as Sherlock in the Sherlock series, the BBC one.
yeah.
Those are my two favorites
what?
of his.
I'm okay with Sherlock.
Yeah.
There we go. You found a
I
way
think for me,
to,
that's probably
Yeah.
his top performance. I think I love him as
you're,
that character.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. But I also don't know necessarily. I'm so tied to the Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
So I read the books, the stories, the shorts. When I was younger, my grandma owned a bookstore, so I constantly read all the time. Mm-hmm. So that's another one of those roles where I'm probably biased because I feel like a lot of people could have fit that role.
Yeah.
But there's just something so endearing about him as a person that I feel bad for even
Yeah.
like remotely close to flaming him about something he's done
Yeah.
as a project.
Yeah. So
Because I
Benedict, if
feel
you're
like he's the
listening
kind
for
of
some
guy
reason, we're sorry. We do love you.
Yeah, if I owe you a hug, man, I would love to just hug it out and tell you I think you're a great person from everything I've seen. I just haven't found a role that he's in that makes me feel like I feel about other actors, I
Right.
should say, as far as skill set.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against him. I think some of it's probably casting. Maybe he's not found that role that speaks to me.
Yep.
And for not for nothing, but he was part of the production for The Hobbit, and I love The Hobbit. So,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm giving him a D or an F rating.
Yep.
I'm just saying there's room for improvement, right?
Yeah.
He's like
yeah. Which there should always
he's
be
like a
room for
meets
improvement.
expectations minus, right?
Yeah.
We'll call it that. Shout out KWC employee rankings there.
Well, on
yeah,
that
so-
tangent, you can share your number 1 now, but I had to ask.
Oh, okay. Am I allowed to stop talking about Benedict Cumberbatch? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I
I'm
couldn't
just
help
keeping us
myself,
on track.
man.
I know you. I know
No,
you. and
no,
your
I
tangents.
tangent from time to time. I like to.
I gave you
got
a
me
few
started.
minutes.
You did this. This was.
I
all
knew
you.
I knew something was gonna happen as soon as I said it. I was like, I have to ask though.
Yes, you did it, and you got me fired up. No, I appreciate the question though, because there are so many iterations of the Grinch story, right? Like,
Yeah.
and definitely that definitely fell short for me by comparison, but nothing could beat Jim Carrey. So,
Yeah.
my number one. Are you ready for this? Shout out your shirt. My number one, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's my number
Another
1
John
too.
Hughes film. We did it. We
Yep.
did. Yes, yes. Everything about this film. I mean, Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo and the whole family, the chaos that is Christmas.
Yes.
This is so relatable to me for my family that I couldn't possibly pick a film above it just because it feels so much like my own home. They're so relatable as characters. The villains of the story, if you will, are
Yeah.
so relatable as people, right? We know a few of those,
Yep.
from the workplace.
Yeah.
There's always the guy, there's always that thing, and the neighbors. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness, man, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you, because there's
Honestly,
so much
yeah.
about this film that
Yeah.
I just love.
Yeah. It's just like a quintessential perfect Christmas movie in our opinion.
Well,
Like
yeah,
it captures
it's
everything about the season perfectly. Like you said, you got the obviously the Christmas vibe with the decorations, the lights, the tree, like all like the beginning, just when them going to cut down the tree, like even just that in itself, and then all of the things like you said with the different characters, everyone's so relatable and realistic. Like it's one of the more genuine, like just down to earth. Like you said, it just feels real. It feels authentic in the way that the characters are portrayed, the stories told. Like obviously, it's exaggerated, but it still feels real, kind of thing.
no, no, and
Yeah.
the thing is that, like, we all have this tendency, I think, at least to some degree, to blow things out of proportion when things aren't going your way necessarily, or to kind of have a feel bad moment for yourself, or whatever. I can't tell you. Every year I have this flashback. When he's hanging off the gutter, and he shoots the ice beam through the neighbor's window
Yeah.
because he's about to fall off the roof. Every year
Yeah.
when I'm doing Christmas decorations, I trip over cords, or I get caught
Yeah.
up in something, or something blows away or falls down, and it's so relatable, and it feels like, and me, maybe just a little bit over the top sometimes. So maybe it's even more relatable to me than it is to most people, just because maybe I have that little twinge of drama in me, and it feels so real. And the B cast, or the lesser characters in the film, Juliette Lewis and Johnny
Oh yeah.
Galecki, and
Yep.
Doris Roberts and Randy Quaid. I could go on and on about how well cast the entire movie is.
Yeah. And everyone's
You know?
used flawlessly. Like even the lesser
Yeah,
used
it's
characters.
it's beautiful because Doris Roberts, God bless her, man. She she plays such a good character in that. And if you ever watched Everybody Loves Raymond, it's like she never changed. It's
Yeah.
so, take away the drunkenness and put her in Everybody Loves Raymond, and she's perfect.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. She's one of my favorite characters in that series, just because she plays her role so well. When somebody frustrates you, and you can compare them to somebody in your life, if they're that relatable and that accurate,
Yeah.
and you almost kind of don't like them a little bit because of their role, like that's how you know that's the
Yeah.
hallmark to,
Yeah.
to a good actor, right?
Absolutely.
Like some people just infuriate you, like as a character, to the
Yeah.
point where you almost don't like the actor even, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I really hate that guy. Man, he's good at his job, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Right. He did his job. Yep.
Doris Roberts in that scenario for me is just, she's it. It's like she's like obnoxious, sort of like, everybody kind of has somebody like that in their life too, that they're sort of forced to deal with, right? Like
Yeah.
it's somebody that you gotta just like, man, maybe they could turn it down just a little bit or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm tangenting again. So
Oh, you're good. Oh yeah, I love I love it. It's one we could have done a whole episode just talking about how much we love Christmas Vacation.
I could talk endlessly about a handful of films, and that's one of them for sure. And not to mention, but like, you think about the range of somebody like John Hughes. He's kind of typically referred to as this like 80s teen film kind of like director, right? You associate him with 16 Candles, and and of course Home Alone, but
Yeah,
mostly like
Breakfast
the
Club,
16
yeah.
Candles and Breakfast Club, and all those things. And this is kind of it's sort of such a twisted comedy by comparison that you kind of have to appreciate that maybe he was a little cynical at the time he wrote it, maybe, and it was kind of like
Yeah.
his true self coming out. You know, and you don't see that all the time. You know, you come to have, you know, expectations from every writer or director when you watch a film, right? You just expect certain things.
Yeah.
And with this one, it felt like he really was maybe going through something, or maybe he was trying to push the fold just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just such a fun film. So,
And even in
so-
the end, it has a really heartwarming, you know, story and themes to it all.
Sure.
Like, as much
Yeah,
as it
yeah,
is,
it's-
you know, a chaotic comedy with all these, you know, these characters that have so many different quirks about them and stuff like that, at the end of the day, it's still a heartwarming, genuine story, too.
yeah, absolutely, and it's it definitely hits home at Casa de Coy, and I promise you that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of those where you know you really can't help but feel connected to this movie.
Yeah.
Because there are so many relatable characters. You know the help me out, the character has to take his back pill. He's rushing to get to.
I don't remember his name.
To eat 'cause he has to take his back pill.
Yeah.
I had this guy in my family for so long, and I really miss him. He's been gone for a few years now, and I think of him every single time
Yeah.
that I see him. I've got to take my back pill. You know, I think like I'm like, oh my god, that's my guy. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, he's deep down. To me, the person I'm referring to in my family was a really endearing person.
Yeah.
And he loved so passionately, but he was also so stubborn. And it's just all those things are so relatable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
So
Cousin Eddie's such a good character in the
Oh,
in
my
the
gosh.
film too, because like he could have easily been this like just character that you just can't stand kind of thing, but
Sure.
the way he's written, the way he's performed, you just can't help but laugh like anytime he opens his mouth or does
yeah,
anything.
and well, and the golden heart at the end, right? Like,
Yeah.
like he says his
Exactly.
heart's bigger than his brain,
Yeah.
and it cracks me up. I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Well, like the whole
It's-
climax of the film is like him doing something genuinely because he loves Clark. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
yeah, even as annoyed as Clark was with him the whole movie,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
You know, can I do anything for you? You know, drive you out to the desert and leave you for dead.
Yeah.
Just, like, again,
Yeah.
it's just so relatable, man. It
Yeah.
feels so good. And it's, you know, it's a tradition for us on Thanksgiving. We watch this movie every year after our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Because it's our foray into, it's Christmas time. It's time to get in the mood for the season. It's time to
Yeah.
accept that your in-laws and your
Yeah.
outlaws are probably going to drive you absolutely bonkers for the next, you know, month.
Yeah.
And it's just a great, relatable, funny, and like you said, heartwarming finish. They just it's like it just goes to show you, like, it's really not to get too filmy on this whole deal, but like it's really that quintessential, like, all the chaos and all the drama and all the excitement, and it ends with all the love.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm grateful we did this. I'm glad we were together. Thank God it's over. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, I couldn't agree with you more as the number one pick. So, having said that, though, I have a question for you,
All right. Trivia time.
and we've discussed this a little bit. So this is pre-trivia question.
Okay.
My question for you now. Nice Stormtrooper Christmas tree ornament back there, by
Thank
the way.
you.
I love that. I just now realized it.
Yeah.
So eye candy back there. I have to know, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I would say yes. That's my personal opinion on the matter. I did not
Okay.
grow up watching the movie very often. Because, you know, it was an R-rated movie, and I didn't watch R-rated movies till I was 17. So I didn't see the movie till I was a teenager. So I've seen it multiple times since, and every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, of course this is a Christmas movie. Like the whole movie's plot would not exist were it not for Christmas. So in my opinion, It's one of those. I've coined these types of movies this way, as I call it, the gritty Christmas movie. Ones that like are
Gritty Christmas movie.
yeah,
Okay.
like at its core, it still revolves around Christmas time, but it's something, something different. It's like Die Hard. It's like if you've seen the Mel Gibson movie Fat Man, or one that came out last year was Violent Night, where like Santa Claus has to help out this family, like
Yeah.
the home invasion type thing. Like that for me, like that's like it fits in that subgenre of Christmas movies. That's like the gritty Christmas movie.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
so what about let's just put this to bed for Evan. Gremlins.
I've only seen Gremlins a couple of times. I did not grow up watching
Okay.
that one for some reason, so I'm not as strong on like all the details I remember on the movie. His argument, I would say, is good from the discussions
Okay.
we've had,
All right.
but I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm familiar enough with the movie to be able to make a flat statement on it.
Okay, so fair enough. So for some context for the
Mm-hmm.
crowd, his however large it may be, is that because Gizmo is a Christmas
Maybe it's just
gift,
Evan listening.
it's a Christmas movie. So Evan, you heard it here first. No.
There you go.
Okay. So
I have
shout
I
out
had
to
to
Boy You Dog
abstain.
for the content,
I
right?
did not give an answer, and Dave says no. So
I had to. I had to throw that in there. I had to direct my negative energy towards someone. So so now let's talk trivia.
all right.
So we haven't done this yet. We'll call this Ask Austin and see if he can figure this one out, or this series
Oh,
of
before we do the
questions out.
trivia, I did see John Williams did do the score for Home Alone 2 as well.
Fair enough.
Nothing
Fair
against
enough.
John
So,
Williams. You just didn't make as memorable as the score the second time around, I guess.
fair. Well, and I don't know that the context or the content was there for him to make it
Right.
as memorable. But I'll let him off the hook today. Sorry,
Yep.
Benedict Cumberbatch, for my rant earlier. So question number 1. In Home Alone 2, what was the name of the game show that Kevin recorded to his device to confuse the clerk at the hotel in New York City? Did I get him?
You probably did. I'm not as familiar
Cue-
with Home Alone 2 as I am the first
Oh,
one.
cue the Jeopardy music.
I know. Well, I was thinking it's something. It's one of those. Yeah, I knew it was like something like Price is Right, Jeopardy type thing, something like that. But I can't give a
Yes,
concrete answer.
I got him my first try. Good. It's Ding Dang Dong.
Ding dang
Is the name
dong.
of the show. Yes. The Celebrity Ding Dang Dong. Score. All right. So now can you counter with your own stumping question?
All right, I'll give you my more difficult one first. Then I had 2 questions total, so I'm gonna see if I stump you
Oh,
on this
man.
one. This is another
Okay,
Home Alone
okay.
related one.
Okay.
In the first, well, I guess this would count for both Home Alone movies. But how many siblings does Kevin have? I feel like this is a bit of a trick one because there's so many cousins and stuff involved.
Oh gosh, that is a good one. So
Because I did not know this one because I was like, well, I think I know, but then I looked at the answer and I was wrong.
is it? It's just 2, right?
That's what I thought. I thought it was 2, but
No,
according
it's 3, right?
it said 4 in what I looked up.
4. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
and I was
I'm
like, hold
completely
on.
lost. Okay, we got to fire up the internets here. Do you
Yeah.
do you have?
I don't
You
have my
have the
source,
answer.
but let's see.
So here we go. The old internet says that Jeff and Buzz are his brothers,
Yep.
and Megan and Lenny are his sisters.
Yep. So it was 4.
Shout
so he's
out.
one of 5.
Shout out IMDb. Family of
Yeah.
7. My goodness, what did their dad
I
do?
didn't realize it was that big. I thought more of them were cousins.
Yeah, no, I thought they were too. I thought the
Yeah.
other kids belonged to the uncle, Frank.
Yeah.
Or was it Frank?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so they just had
So it was only like two other kids were cousins.
so Macaulay Culkin's brother. Fun
Mm-hmm.
fact for those that don't know, Macaulay Culkin's brother played Fisher, who was his cousin in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what did he do to have a house that big and support a
age-old
family of
question.
7? My goodness, he must have been. I mean, he must have been a doctor or
Yeah.
a lawyer or something. My goodness.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So you really buzzed me on that
I
one.
got both
thought
of us
I
on
thought,
that one.
Yeah, so I thought that the sister that says she says to Kevin in the movie, "You're what the French call les incompetents."
Yeah.
I thought she
Yeah.
was the only
I
sister.
thought it was him. I thought it was her and
And
Buzz. I thought
Buzz
that was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. You got me. You got me good. Okay. So next is a Grinch related question.
All right.
What was the name of the Grinch's dog?
It was Max, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was Max.
I almost used that
Max.
question because I was thinking about putting Grinch on the list, and I was like,
Yes.
I ended up going
such
with
a
another
good one.
movie. So
That's a little more. I hope that the people listening were screaming, "Max! It's Max! I know the
Yeah.
answer to that one." I could have queued you up or teed you up with a soft one there, because that one it is the same in all of the movies and
Right.
all of the
it's
shorts.
consistent. Yeah.
So it's always been
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah. All right. So guess what? My second question is dog related as well.
Oh yes, I love dogs. That's great.
So, in Christmas Vacation, what is Eddie's dog's name?
Snots.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Snots.
I was
of
like, we
course.
probably won't stump each other on this
Yes.
one, but
Yeah, no, I live for Christmas Vacation, and of course I love dogs. So, can you tell me?
he's hacking up the bone at the table.
Yes, he says at a certain point in the movie, Eddie suggests that the dog is ornery, and he likes to, fornicate a leg.
Yeah.
Do you remember the nickname that he gives that process?
I don't. Like, I feel like I
could-
do. And if you
said-
had not asked me under the pressure of being recorded right now, I probably would.
Yeah, he says he has a little bit of Mississippi leg hound in it. I absolutely love that part of that movie. It cracks me up. So good. So I could probably come up with 36 different questions, but I'll finish on a Home Alone based one. My last question. In the original Home Alone, what nickname do Marv and Harry go by?
The Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandits. Very good. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And then 2, they try to go the Sticky Bandits route.
Yeah. If you remember, he wraps his hand backwards with tape and sticks it in the Salvation Army jar. My goodness, what a jerk! Just
He's so
ornery,
proud,
funny.
too.
Yeah. He's silly as can be. Oh my goodness, so good. So that really concludes my list. Do you have any honorable mentions? Some other movies?
I had a few.
That maybe
I had
you
a few
catch
I was
every
going to
year?
mention.
Okay.
Elf was really close to making my list. I'm not sure if you're an
Sure.
Elf fan or not. I know that's either a love or hate for most people.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
I grew up with that
I
one,
otherwise
so
love
I
Will
love
Ferrell.
it. Yeah, that was the first Christmas
Yeah.
movie I popped on this year. I was putting up the Christmas decorations down here and popped that one on while we were decorating. So Elf is an honorable mention for me. The Charlie Brown Christmas special. I love the Charlie Brown Christmas special. I think that's the best special of the Peanuts collection. Just all the
Shout out
characters
my
are
mom.
utilized. So,
Shout out
so
my
quotable.
mom, Janet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves Charlie Brown, Snoopy, the whole cast.
Yes.
She
Yep.
collects collectibles from the Schultz special there. So
Yeah,
she has
that's
a ton
cool.
of Snoopy themed and Charlie Brown themed
Yeah.
goodies.
Yeah. Growing
Yeah.
up, my grandmother would they'd get the Sunday paper all the time, so she'd always clip out the comics, and she'd always clip out the
Oh.
Peanuts ones and send them in the mail to me.
That's awesome.
So I always
How
had those.
cool.
So it was sad whenever
You
she
gotta
passed
taste-
away and I stopped getting those.
Yeah, you got a taste of the old school with the new school there, right?
Yeah,
Because
yep.
you're just young enough that you could see most of that stuff on the internet if you wanted to at that point, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But you still had someone that thought enough of you that they clipped them out and mailed them to you. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
Yep.
neat.
So the Charlie Brown Christmas special, Elf, and then my last honorable mention is It's a Wonderful Life. I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Of course, you got to have a classic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So every year when we wrap presents, it's a Christmas story for us. You shoot your eye out, kid, kind of.
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of the summation of, we're wrapping up the presents, and nobody gets a Red Ryder BB gun at our house, but definitely the whole spirit of being a kid, definitely well framed in that classic.
It captures it well. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that one a lot. Still to this day, and my wife and I are not last minute shoppers, but we are last minute wrappers because we both despise it. So
yeah,
it's usually 9 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve when everybody goes to bed, or 10 o'clock when everybody goes to bed. We've got that in the background, and we're wrapping presents.
Yeah,
talking about the events that have happened ahead.
Yeah, or Barbie doesn't like wrapping either, but for her, she doesn't like it, so she does it as early as possible, so it's over with.
Oh, that's
so she's done. Like, she's got like the whole family. She's done, bought, wrapped, and everything. They're under the tree.
Shout out Barbie! My goodness, how about it? Give her 2 thumbs up for that, right? That's almost as good as that's almost as good as movie theater popcorn.
She loves gift giving. She loves getting gifts for people and stuff, but she does not like wrapping. So she's like, I'm getting it done, and they're under the tree, and we're ready to go.
Well, I wish I had that inspo. I really do. Yeah, she would not enjoy it at our house because the presents stay in a pile until Christmas Eve. The weekend before for all the family gifts, right? Because we dole them out over a course of a couple of different days, but everything for the kids gets wrapped up, packaged up the night before.
Yeah,
and we're not traditionalists as far as Christmas is concerned here. Not in that we do Christmas presents on Christmas Eve, because that's basically as close to blasphemy as you can get.
Right.
But we do a smaller Christmas for our kids than most people probably do, as far as quantity of gifts.
Yeah.
We go for a quality gift, and usually one that we can give in person, as opposed to the whole wrap up and open a bunch of presents and have wrapping paper strung all over the house and the whole nine.
Yeah. The past couple of years, Barbie found this thing on, I think it was Etsy or something like that. So we got these tags for our presents, and I think we do like 5 gifts each, and the tags are labeled like something for you to wear, something for you to do, something for you, like something that's like more intentional kind of thing. And that way you're not just mindlessly buying all these gifts or stuff like that. There's intention behind it. Yeah,
it's a common suggestion for people that struggle with gifts, right? Or that overgive. Is something to wear, something to read, something to do.
Yep.
Something to watch, and something to wear, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know there's like a 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of different to choose
list.
from. Barbie just picked her favorite 5 or so for us that she thought would be a good fit, and those are the ones we went with. And it's been good. We started it last year, and we're doing it again this year, so it definitely helps, like you said, with the gift buying and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps,
and then there's
nice
kind of the mystery. You see the presents under the tree, and it says something to wear, and you're like, oh, I wonder what's in there, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah.
It's always socks and underwear for me, but anyway, Now,
did you have any more honorable mentions you wanted to mention?
Yeah, no. So the whole season is from Thanksgiving to Christmas is kind of my favorite time of year, film wise. Not necessarily because of holiday themes though. So I don't really have many more to put on my list or honorable mention even. Just the experience is my favorite thing. Sitting down with my kids and my wife and my family and the people I love, and being around them and watching, whether it's a Charlie Brown Christmas or the Grinch for the 1000th time or whatever. I think holiday tradition is what makes the holiday so great, right? It makes us aspire to want to spend more time with those people we care about. And maybe even give yourself a nice gift over the season, right? This podcast works for me. Being my newest thing. So just happy to spend it with the people I care about, be around the people I love. And I think any other movie that's holiday related or holiday themed, no matter how good or bad it is okay with me. So
one more I forgot to write down. It's technically a Thanksgiving movie, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's another. It's another John Hughes, John Candy collaboration there in that one, and you got Steve Martin in there too.
Of course, which is comedy gold, right?
Oh yeah, the two of them together is hilarious.
Yeah, he's he's another funny and I think underappreciated actor in our generation. Well, in my generation, not so much, but probably in your generation
Yeah.
for sure. So, if you didn't see him at his peak, you didn't get the best
Yeah.
of him, especially if
Right.
you don't go back and rewatch, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he definitely a special one for sure. So, what's next, man? We've had this conversation about Christmas
I
movies.
know.
And,
We got our movies. We
yeah.
got our trivia done.
yeah,
So next episode, we're going to be looking at our anticipated, at least movies. We possibly will include some TV shows in there as well for the winter season of 2024-2025. So we'll be focusing on the stuff coming out from December through February of next year. So we're going to be talking about the releases coming up, what we're excited about, what we're expecting results-wise, maybe in the box office or critically reviews, all that kind of stuff.
very cool. And do you have any movie plans for the weekend?
This weekend, no, probably not. No, my Barbie, she's going to see Wicked. I know you're excited to go see Wicked as well this weekend.
Yes.
I'm gonna be rocking out at a concert, going to see Baby Metal with a couple friends, so that'll be a fun
Baby
time.
Metal. Okay.
Yes, it's
That's,
finally here.
That's something.
I'll show you videos.
That's
It'll be a
that's
fun
something.
time.
That's something. I doubt that it'll be. I doubt that it'll be as good as the Hans Zimmer show.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer is definitely top tier right there.
That's
Gonna
going to be hard to
that.
beat.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to beat. So yeah, we're. That's my wife's favorite movie is Wizard of Oz. Always has been for as long as I've known her. And so we're going to go catch Wicked this weekend.
Yeah.
Down here at Tri-City Theater.
Nice.
Going to go do
Now,
the
are you
thing
guys
on Saturday night.
familiar with the story and the music and stuff for Wicked? Since it's always been like more on the Broadway side of things.
No, we're.
It's all
I'm
kinda
really
new.
excited. So Ariana Grande, the voice of the voice of most of the music in the movie, and I'm excited for her talent to be on the big screen. She's definitely vocally gifted for sure. So I seen a couple of Disney shows with her on them back in the day when my kids were watching them.
Yep.
Don't necessarily know that acting is her strong suit across the board. I don't know what kind of range that she has.
Right.
But she definitely seemed in the trailers at least to really own the role.
It seems like it. Yeah.
So highly anticipated. And also going to try to sneak away and see Gladiator 2.
Nice.
But I don't know if I'll get that done this weekend or
but it couldn't work out schedule-wise with my friend who I want to go with. So we'll probably go sometime after Thanksgiving, but that's definitely high up on the list.
Yeah, same. So we'll have that to talk about in the next coming episodes as well. I'm sure we'll have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to see a masterpiece like something like The Gladiator without talking about it. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that one for sure. And really anxious to get on with the season. It's here.
Yeah.
It's upon us.
Yeah. So everyone else, let us know. Let us know on our socials some of your favorite, festive favorites to check out this time of year, as well as what you're going to be checking out this weekend. We're happy to interact with you and get to know maybe a new recommendation we don't check out as often, or one Christmas movie we may have missed here and there as well.
Yeah. Let us know what's on your list that we didn't highlight for sure. And biggest thing take away from this episode, appreciate the season and the people in it to celebrate it with, right?
Yes, that's the best part.
So now, sign off. I'll say stay classy, everyone.
All right, see you in the next episode.
See ya.